Welcome to another edition of Staying Stainless with Linda. This time we are not bringing you a relationship story, but this is another sad murder story of this lady whose name is Betty Thomas. Betty Thomas is 83 years old and she was stabbed to death in her own house. She was brutally stabbed to her death by a Spectrum employee. This story goes as far back as 2019. What happened was that a cable man by the name of Roy James Holden went to Betty's house to do a routine work. And what happened? He turned around and stabbed her. So he had apparently been performing work at Betty Thomas's home in Irving in December of 2019. And he returned the next day in his uniform while using the company van, and he posed as if he was still on the job, and then he killed her. Then he used Betty, the victim's cards, to go for a shopping spree after the murder. This incident happened in June, and it was a Dallas County jury that found the communications company where James Holden was working, known as Chatter Communications, negligent and grossly negligent in Betty Thomas's death. Therefore, the jury awarded the verdict of $375 million in compensatory damages to Betty Thomas's family, and said that the cable company was responsible for paying 90% of the trial and of all the systemic failures in the company, which included the pre-employee hiring, which included punitive damages for the victim. And this brought the total to $7.37 billion. So the trial lawyer was Chris Hamilton, and he represented Betty Thomas's family. This is a shocking, shocking story that has reached Staying Stainless with Linda, and we'd like to hear what you think about this. The cable guy who used to work in that Betty's house just showed up the day he wasn't working and stabbed her to death, and then went on a shopping spree. We are so shocked by this, and our stories will continue to break your heart. We're very sorry about this, but we feel that it is our duty to keep reporting the news of women being killed in the hands of men. This has nothing to do with a relationship, but you're free to send us your comments on Candid Housely at Facebook or on Facebook and let us know what you think. The trial testimony in the case showed that Chatter Spectrum had hired Roy James Holden, who was the man who stabbed this lady, had hired him without verifying his employment. So this story rounds up being that of negligence, and that of trial, and that of a verdict, and that of serious compensation. So what do you think? Give us your comment, email us, like us, and join us. You can watch UKE TV videos on YouTube. Send us your comment directly on YouTube, and kindly subscribe so that we can bring you more stories. This is the picture of Betty Thomas, and a follow-up will show James Holden, Roy James Holden photograph. We shall bring that to you in our next segment. We thank you for watching, and please stay stainless.